You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. So yesterday, the New York Times released an op-ed by an anonymous senior official in the Trump administration. This op-ed was very damaging. It had a lot of accusations about Donald Trump's stability, ability to reason, rationality, sanity, unhingedness. Very much put forth the idea that there is a resistance, not just in the Democratic Party against Donald Trump, but within his own administration. Now, this is reading from the article that was published by the New York Times, and it says this: I am part of the resistance inside the Trump administration. I work for the president, but like-minded colleagues and I have vowed to throw or thwart parts of his agenda and his worst inclinations. The dilemma which he does not fully grasp is that many of the senior officials in his own administration are working diligently from within to frustrate parts of his agenda and his worst inclinations. I would know I am one of them. Wow, you got to admit, that's a very broad statement to make. That's a very broad assertion to make. And I'm just wondering, guys, did New York Times do any fact checking on this? I'm just saying. You won't tell us who wrote it. I know, journalistic integrity, right? I mean, but I'm just wondering, how did you verify that there is these actual group of people in the White House who are, as the writer states, staging a coup? Wouldn't that be something you would kind of want to verify if it's going to go on your platform? I'm just saying, it is the president of the United States. I mean, I would like for you to verify all stories, like, to the best of your ability. So now we leave that aside. Let's say New York Times, they vetted it. This person is actually who they say they are, and you've corroborated the statements that are made in the article or the op-ed with some other sources that are within the White House who are also a part of this diligent group of resistors against Donald Trump. Let's move past that. My thing is this: you say you thwart him from his agenda. Last time I checked, his agenda was an agenda that won him an election. So if you're thwarting Donald Trump's agenda, aren't you thwarting the will of the people? Look, guys, you don't have to agree with what Donald Trump's doing, but he ran on a course set of things that he wanted to get done. A platform, as the writer states, an agenda. If there are people actively in his campaign working against him fulfilling parts of his agenda, well, that would be sabotaging. And also, guys, I haven't had an opportunity to check out what other journalists are saying about Donald Trump in this op-ed in the New York Times. But I'm also wondering, what gives this person the authority? What gives you the authority to check the president on whatever they're doing? Like, as far as their agenda, like, who elected you? If you're in his cabinet, you were chosen. You weren't elected. You weren't picked by the people to be wherever you are. You have a job to do. See, I have a problem with people who want to overlook this just because they don't like Donald Trump. You mean to tell me there are people who are not elected by the people who are basically running the White House or altering the White House, altering the presidency? Now, I know there's a certain amount of that stuff that goes on regardless, but to actually come out and say, hey, we be throwing a monkey wrench in his plans, and then not to be very specific about what plans you're talking about and what you've been throwing a monkey wrench in. See, I get a little worried, you know? I want to know who to blame. Yeah, don't think it's all altruistic. Like, I want to know who's doing what. Like, is it you who made or helped, or did you aid in the decision that Donald Trump made to drop 40,000 bombs in his first year? I mean, I just would like to know. Was that your crew? Was that your squad of resistors doing that? Because we know the Democratic Party's, their resistance movement, they could care less about war. In fact, the only time they ever supported Donald Trump was when he was dropping bombs on Syrians. Let's keep going with the article. We believe our first duty as to this country and the president continues to act in a manner that is detrimental to the health of our republic. This is why many Trump appointees have vowed to do what they can to preserve our democratic institutions while thwarting Mr. Trump's more misguided impulses until he is out of office. Let me get this right. You, Captain, save a country. You, Captain, save a country. You know, like you're a superhero. You know, not unlike Captain America or Wolverine or something. That's what you are, right? You're like Spider-Man of the Trump administration. Are you guys the Avengers? That's what it is? I'm trying to like wrap my head around what you guys are. Okay, so let me get this right. See, because the Avengers didn't get a paycheck, dog. You know what I'm saying? What superpowers do you have? Oh, I know. Lying like a rug. I know. Pretending to be a hero, meanwhile taking paychecks and working for a man who you say is mentally unstable and causing damage to the country and to the world by extension and deliberately. That's what you say. Now, I'm not going to read the entirety of this article, this op-ed. It's on the New York Times website. You can also find it everywhere else across the web. What I'm saying, folks, is regardless to your Trump derangement or your Trump love, the bottom line is this. This is not a coup like people that invaded the government to take it over. These people were hired by Mr. Trump. And as much as I've had to hear Trump talk about, I'm a great judge of people, I picked the best people. Well, it looks like you didn't pick the best people, bruh. Because the people you picked, several of them are now undermining everything you do. I don't know if there's any evidence based on the policies that you passed. Their undermining hasn't really helped. Maybe they are the reason why you gave all these tax cuts to corporations and to the wealthy. Maybe that's their undermining it at play. Get where I'm going with this? I don't know. Like who's who? Like who's doing what? The democratic process would be that we have a president and we know who we can blame. That's the scapegoat for the deep state and for all other things wrong with this country. But you're throwing a monkey wrench in this whole situation. And you're saying, oh, well, we put our fingers in the pot. We also be helping cook. We like the sous chefs. See, Trump is the chef. We the sous chefs. And we run in the back and, you know, we add more salt. So if it's over salted, who do I blame? You, right? I'm not buying into this whole altruistic endeavor by these people. Smells to me like people are trying to cover their behinds. Sounds to me like some people want to maybe sprinkle a little bit of hate on it. Trump will sink or swim, lose or succeed in 2020. What you are doing now by writing this op-ed, by saying you got a resistance in the White House, by undermining his goals. People don't understand when you piss people off, they vote. Oh, they vote. You know, someone's watching a program and you're in the room and you don't care what they're watching. Like, you're not paying much attention. But let something on that show piss you off. You hear it in your ear. Like, what was that they said? What was that? Men are dogs. What? Oh, men are dogs. Uh-oh. Now I'm focused. Now I'm involved. Now I'm throwing stuff at the screen. See what I'm saying? What I'm saying is once you get people pissed, which is what this op-ed does, make no doubt about it, there are large segments of people that do support Donald Trump. He has very high favorability amongst Republicans and conservatives. And now you just gave him extra incentive to come out in 2020 and put him back in office. And what you got to run against him? Joe Biden? Joe Biden? Is that it? That what you got? That ain't gonna work. It's just not. So this is stupid on many levels. It's also undemocratic. It's also dirty as hell. But and it also could be a strategic play by Trump. I don't know. Does anybody know who did what to whom? I don't know who did it. In fact, there's been a lot of conspiracies, or a lot of theories, I should say, about who actually wrote this letter. Only the New York Times knows. But in the tweet where they announced this op-ed, they actually said the word he as referring to the author. So we know it's not a woman, okay? Unless they said he to throw you off the scent. Maybe it is a woman. They use he to make you all screw with you. See, this is what happens, man. Your brain gets all muddled because they use these tactics. You don't know. The deep state, they do stuff. So Donald Trump responded to this op-ed at I don't know where he was, Texas or something. Here goes the clip.
I am part of the resistance inside the Trump administration.
Nobody has ever done in less than a 2-year period what we've done. So when you tell me about some anonymous source within the administration, probably who's failing and probably here for all the wrong reasons, no. And the New York Times is failing. If I weren't here, I believe the New York Times probably wouldn't even exist. And someday, let me just tell you, and someday when I'm not president, which hopefully will be in about 6.5 years from now, the New York Times and CNN and all of these phony media outlets will be out of business, folks. They'll be out of business because there'll be nothing to write and there'll be nothing of interest. So nobody has done what this administration has done. And I agree, it's different from an agenda, which is much different than ours, and it's certainly not your agenda, that I can tell you.
Thank you.
It's about open borders. It's about letting people flee into our country. It's about a disaster and crime for our country. So they don't like Donald Trump, and I don't like them because they're very dishonest people. Remember this also about the New York Times. When I won, they were forced to apologize to their subscribers. They wrote a letter of apology. It was the first time anybody's ever done it because they covered the election incorrectly. So if the failing New York Times has an anonymous editorial, can you believe it? Anonymous, meaning gutless, a gutless editorial. We're doing a great job. The poll numbers are through the roof. Our poll numbers are great. And guess what? Nobody is going to come close to beating me in 2020 because of what we've done. We've done more than anybody ever thought possible. It's not even 2 years. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well, a lot of things that Trump said in that little piece right there, I'm not so sure about. The failing New York Times, man, I don't think they were going to go out of business because of Donald Trump or lack of Donald Trump. I don't agree with that, but there are things he said that I do agree with. Like I agree that he may win in 2020. I don't know about the reasons why he's saying he may win in 2020, but I don't see a strong opposition from the Democrats as of yet. So, yeah, I mean, basically they're throwing everything against the wall on Donald Trump, and I don't know how much of it's sticking. I don't think any of it's sticking with Republicans or conservatives. The people that dislike Trump probably dislike him more, and the people who tuned out because of all the Russiagate talk, they stay tuned out, I guess. That's really where I come up at. I really don't see them doing a better job yet. If they run another person who's establishment, then I do see Donald Trump winning. And I do see them running an establishment candidate. Folks, I'm going to put a bow on this and move past it because we got other stuff to get to. We can revisit this topic. I also did a video. It's pretty detailed about this whole Veep throat because some people think it was Mike Pence who's behind the op-ed. And I see no evidence of it, but there was one line in the op-ed where they used the word lodestar. Lodestar. And some people are saying that word is rarely used and that Mike Pence has used it like a couple of times. I remember using that word back in the 90s for something I had to do. It was a paper or something I was doing. It's not that rare a word. Now, maybe someone used it because they knew Mike Pence used it and you would think it was Mike Pence. See how it gets?